What if I told you that some of the wealthiest and most renowned billionaires are concealing criminal activities? It's a statement that seems almost unbelievable, especially in a world where wealth often equates to respect and admiration. Yet, beneath the surface of luxury and success, some billionaires have engaged in activities that can only be described as criminal. These are not just white-collar crimes or simple misdeeds, but actions that have caused devastation on a global scale. Let's delve into the stories of some of these individuals, where we will explore the dark realities behind their wealth and influence. Elon Musk, the high-stakes game of stock market manipulation. Elon Musk, one of the most influential figures in the tech world, has built an empire with companies like Tesla and SpaceX.
Go. Flight directors, go for launch.
His vision for the future and his ability to push technological boundaries have made him a household name. However, Musk is no stranger to controversy, and one particular incident stands out as a glaring example of how even the most celebrated individuals can flirt with criminal activity. In 2018, Musk tweeted that he was considering taking Tesla private at $420 per share, claiming that funding was secured. The tweet sent Tesla's stock prices soaring, causing a frenzy in the market. However, it quickly became evident that the statement was not only misleading but also false. The funding secured claim was unfounded, leading the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, to charge Musk with securities fraud. The consequences for Musk were severe, though not life-altering. The SEC imposed a hefty $40 million fine and mandated stricter oversight on his social media posts by Tesla's board. Musk's wealth and legal team spared him from a potential 25-year prison sentence, highlighting the disparity in consequences between the ultra-wealthy and ordinary citizens. Musk's actions were blatant market manipulation, yet his punishment was largely financial, with little impact on his freedom or his ability to continue running his companies. This incident serves as a stark reminder that even those who are seemingly untouchable are not above the law. However, it also underscores the sometimes lenient consequences faced by the super-rich, who can navigate their way through legal repercussions with significant resources and influence. Alan Stanford, the billionaire behind one of the largest Ponzi schemes in history. Alan Stanford was once a shining star in the world of finance, a billionaire who built his fortune in the banking industry. His company, Stanford Financial Group, promised lucrative returns to investors, making him one of the wealthiest individuals globally. However, behind the facade of success was a man who was orchestrating one of the largest Ponzi schemes in history. Stanford's scheme attracted thousands of investors who were lured by the promise of high returns. Suspicion began to arise about the legitimacy of Stanford's wealth, but he managed to evade serious scrutiny by relocating his headquarters to Antigua, where he wielded significant influence. He even went as far as appointing himself as the regulator to avoid any investigations into his business practices. Despite mounting evidence against him, Stanford continued to operate with impunity, amassing vast fortunes and living a life of luxury. It wasn't until 2009 that Stanford's empire came crashing down. Investigations revealed that Stanford had misappropriated investor funds for personal luxuries, including yachts, private jets, and real estate. His fraudulent activities also involved money laundering on a massive scale. Stanford was arrested and convicted on multiple fraud charges, ultimately receiving a 110-year prison sentence. Despite the overwhelming evidence, Stanford has continued to maintain his innocence, leaving his investors, many of whom have placed their life savings in his hands, with nothing but shattered dreams. Stanford's case is a striking example of how financial crime can destroy lives on a massive scale. His actions not only defrauded individuals but also undermined trust in financial institutions, demonstrating the far-reaching impact of such criminal activities. The Sackler family, architects of the opioid crisis. The Sackler family, owners of Purdue Pharma, are another example of billionaires whose actions have caused untold suffering. The family's wealth is intricately tied to the pharmaceutical giant and its notorious product, OxyContin. Marketed as a revolutionary pain reliever with a low risk of addiction, OxyContin quickly became a household name. However, the reality was far darker. OxyContin's addiction rate was alarmingly high, leading to widespread suffering and loss.
In the United States, OxyContin grew from 300,000 prescriptions to almost 6 million. Opioid abuse cases began rising to the surface, and studies would show direct correlations between the location of the cases and the volume of opioid prescriptions in that area. Purdue even targeted poor areas with high labor work. The higher instances of workplace injury led to high uses of OxyContin. The company also recorded information about prescription quantities that individual doctors were writing.
Rather than acknowledging their role in fueling the opioid crisis, the Sacklers doubled down on their aggressive marketing tactics. They incentivized doctors to prescribe OxyContin liberally and lobby politicians to stave off regulatory scrutiny. Their manipulation of medical professionals and political donations shielded them from accountability for years, allowing them to continue reaping billions while contributing to an epidemic of addiction and overdose deaths. The impact of Purdue Pharma's actions is perhaps most acutely felt in homeless camps, where fatal overdoses have become tragically commonplace. An estimated 80% of these cases can be traced back to opioid products manufactured by Purdue, highlighting the devastating toll of their pursuit of profit over ethics. Despite mounting evidence of their wrongdoing, the Sackler family remained largely untouched for years. It wasn't until 2004 that legal action caught up with Purdue Pharma, which was sued for deceptive marketing practices related to OxyContin.
It was supposed to last 12 hours, enough for a good night's rest. However, often the effects are only present for 8 hours. Now, Purdue could have done one of two things: increase the frequency of the dose, or increase the dosage and increase the potential for addiction. They did the latter. Sales reps were strictly instructed.
However, the settlement amounted to a mere slap on the wrist, a $10 million fine that did little to deter Purdue from its harmful practices. 3 years later, federal intervention forced Purdue to acknowledge its culpability in the opioid crisis. The company admitted to knowing about OxyContin's addictive properties and profiting from its widespread misuse. While Purdue was hit with a substantial $600 million fine, the agreement notably shielded the Sackler family from facing any personal legal repercussions for their role in perpetuating the crisis. The story of the Sackler family serves as a sobering reminder of the dangers of corporate greed and the devastating consequences it can unleash. Their story underscores the urgent need for accountability and regulatory oversight in the pharmaceutical industry to prevent similar tragedies from occurring in the future. Sam Bankman-Fried and SPF, the downfall of cryptocurrency giants. In the annals of financial history, the tales of individuals like Sam Bankman-Fried, alias SBF, and SPF serve as stark reminders of the perils of unchecked greed and deception. These individuals, once heralded as visionaries in their respective fields, ultimately succumbed to the temptations of unscrupulous practices, leaving behind a trail of devastation and despair. Sam Bankman-Fried's journey into infamy began with the establishment of Alon Research and FTX, purportedly legitimate ventures in the world of cryptocurrency trading. Initially, Fried capitalized on price disparities in Bitcoin markets, reaping substantial profits through Alon Research's operations. However, beneath the veneer of success lurked a web of deceit and illegality. FTX, marketed as a low-risk platform for investors, served as a smokescreen for Alon Research's high-risk trades. Fried's ventures were plagued by ethical and legal implications, yet he persisted, emboldened by his legal background and the allure of financial gain. As the crypto market experienced a precipitous decline, Alon Research continued its reckless trading practices unabated. Meanwhile, SPF, another figure ensnared in financial malfeasance, exhibited a similar hubris-fueled trajectory. Operating under the belief that his companies were impervious to failure, SPF indiscriminately invested his customers' funds, unaware of the potential consequences. The allure of exponential profits blinded SPF to the inherent risks of his ventures, leading to catastrophic unraveling. As the crypto market plummeted and customers clamored for withdrawals, SPF found himself ensnared in a web of deceit of his own making. It was revealed that SPF had been diverting substantial portions of his customers' funds to Alon Research, where they were squandered in high-stakes trades and extravagant expenditures. Despite possessing ample reserves, SPF's cavalier attitude toward financial prudence ultimately led to the freezing of customer accounts and the unraveling of his empire. The downfall of individuals like Fried and SPF underscores the fundamental truth that no amount of wealth or prestige can shield one from the consequences of unethical behavior. Despite their initial successes, their legacies are marred by deception, fraud, and the profound human suffering they caused. In the aftermath of their reckoning, countless individuals have been left destitute, their savings and livelihoods decimated by the actions of these unscrupulous actors. The repercussions of their crimes reverberate far beyond the confines of the financial world, serving as a sobering reminder of the importance of integrity, transparency, and accountability in all endeavors. As the dust settles and the full extent of their crimes comes to light, Freed, SPF, and others like them serve as cautionary tales for future generations. Their stories stand as potent reminders of the dangers of unchecked greed and the imperative of upholding ethical principles in the pursuit of financial success. In the end, the stories of these criminal billionaires serve as a stark reminder that wealth and power are not inherently virtuous. It is the choices individuals make with their influence that define their legacy. And for those who choose to exploit their position for personal gain at the expense of others, history will remember them not for their wealth, but for the harm they caused and the lives they destroyed. These cases reveal that even the most successful individuals can be driven by greed and ethical lapses, resulting in profound negative impacts on society. From stock market manipulation and Ponzi schemes to pharmaceutical greed and cryptocurrency fraud, these stories paint a troubling picture of how extreme wealth can sometimes corrupt and lead to devastating consequences. Understanding these dark facets of billionaire behavior not only highlights the need for vigilance and accountability, but also serves as a cautionary tale. As society continues to grapple with issues of wealth inequality and corporate malfeasance, these examples remind us of the importance of ethical conduct and the need for robust regulatory systems to prevent such abuses of power. In reflecting on these stories, it's crucial to recognize the broader implications for how we view wealth and success. The pursuit of money and influence, when unchecked by moral considerations, can lead to catastrophic outcomes. Ultimately, it is a shared responsibility to ensure that those in positions of power are held accountable for their actions, safeguarding against the dangers of corruption and exploitation. The legacy of these criminal billionaires underscores the necessity for a just and equitable system where the rule of law prevails over personal gain and where integrity and responsibility are paramount. As we continue to navigate the complexities of wealth and power, let us remember that true success is not measured by the extent of one's fortune, but by the positive impact one has on the world.